big servers abound in the top 3 seeds. John Isner, Milos Raonic, and the defending champion Riley Opelka. Of course, to that list of big servers in the draw. He's caught the line there, Jung. He's just going to have to look, as always, when you're playing a big server here, Jung. Just take care of his own service games, which he can do. Enjoy the quicker conditions here, has done in the qualifying. There's a couple of good wins in straight sets. Terrific tennis from Jung. Pushing Anderson back, stretching him, taking that ball on the way through, on the weight transfer, picking it off. That's good tennis. He beat Mitchell Kruger, beat a couple of Americans, beat Kruger in the final qualifying round, Jung. Straight sets. Opens his account immediately. Really tough to break in these conditions. 6'8" frame, over 2 meters tall. As I say, it's just going to be for Jung here to keep taking care of his own service games and stay in touch in the first set. Business-like opening service game from Anderson, the hole at love. It's just so disappointing, I think, for Anderson at this point to have had the 2019 that he had. He's talked about it a lot. Just how disappointing. Fantastic time for him and his wife Kelsey. Their first child, Kira. And a blessing in disguise, the fact that he had all the time off the court. Knee surgery after that. Spend time with his daughter, new arrival. Now he's focused, of course, on trying to rebuild his ranking, get back up the rankings and win a lot of matches this season if he can stay healthy. He's hitting spots well here, Jung, in his early stages. Leads Anderson on serve here, 2-1.
Care for your family club. Our Highlands Premier Indoor Tennis Facility. Services include tennis lessons, leagues, and court rentals. Care for your individual practice facility. Other than opportunities in the tri-area for you and your family. Visit usca.com/Eastern to get play. And the next generation of tennis rates, find a school, park, club, or place to play near you. Visit generations.usca.com to get play. A landmark of hospitality and First City Hotel has all over landlord's hotel needs. From luxury experiences, explore all that Garden City has to offer at the Garden City Hotel. Tom.
There's 3 games of whistle by then on serve. Anderson to go again here to Jung at 1-2. Found a way through eventually. Terrific hot dog from Jung. We saw an amazing one from Dennis Sandgren in his match with Steve Johnson last night. Kept Jung in the point, and Anderson able to pick him off eventually. Third ace already for Anderson. Jung has challenged here. Accurate as ever from Anderson. Got hold of that return. He saw that very early, Jung. And see the ball early taken on the rise. Of course, he's got quite a compact take back in his game style. He can middle a few of those returns. It's all about getting. Satisfied there, but once he's into the rally, you fancy himself against Anderson. It might be the problem here for Jung. Anderson levels up again. Very accurate from Jung. That's something he does well. Picks off those. Very nicely indeed. Good placement. Set up. Preparation very good as well. To make it all possible. Opens his account now as well. Still on serve here. Quarter of an hour in. Jung back in front at 3-2.
All right, it is time for some fan trivia. How are you doing tonight? How do you feel about some trivia? It looks like a scarlet here. Don't worry, there's nothing more than a t-shirt on the line. It's just going to be very simple. What are your names? Rob. Let's see how well you know your tennis trivia. Take a look at the big board right here, and we want to know who won the singles title at the 2018 New York Open. Was it Jung? Was it Nishikori? Was it Sim? Or was it Kevin Anderson? What do you think it is? You said Anderson. Which one do you think is right? Anderson, let's take a look at the big board. It is Kevin Anderson. It's a good thing when this is Jay Anderson. Not that this is Jay and you. It is a New York Open t-shirt. Thanks for coming out. Enjoy the rest of the session. And thank you for listening to Jay. Bye.
Still on serve then, a quarter of an hour in. Anderson to go again, 2-3. Very assured start from Jung. That's that first point as well. Then he's in a service game to miss a few more. He's got to be there to take advantage of it. Nothing he can do about that. So well placed. Just the area really with Anderson. Saw a bit of this in Australia. Coming back, he's still, yes, he's played some longer matches now, but it takes a long time to get those sort of constructions, get that clinical nature here. Just in this first, making a few mistake actions, executions. He said his absolute best. I said earlier, 2018, the best year of his career. He was making those sorts of errors. Very clinical. Sloppy again there, and Jung now. He's got a big opportunity. This will go down as. The Anderson serve. Golden opportunity here. Not likely to get many of these. Great play from the South African, really took that break point on. Didn't back off at all here, Anderson, just to boss the point from the off. Survives the first break point of the match. Smartly at the moment, Jung. Anderson moving out of the central areas of the court there. Again, he's just said it a few times already. He's sizing up and hitting his spots so well. His shot selection's very good at the moment, Jung. It's another love game here for Jung. Back in front as we shortly welcome the new balls into play. 4-3. decent pace so far, 23 minutes in. On serve so far, just the one break point for Jason Jung in Kevin Anderson's previous service game. 3-4 here. Very good indeed. Going back in slightly behind the run of Jung. Makes it. He's been looking for that pass, Jung, a couple of times without making it. Luring Anderson in and picking him off on the line play. Number 5 for Anderson. Up and inject a bit of extra pace into it, Anderson. Missing out, and for the second straight return game, it's Jung with a break point. Very lucky to get away with that, Anderson. Off the tape. It's landed on the service line. Brilliant. Really did. In his previous service game, Anderson taking it on, not waiting for Jung to make a mistake here. No. Let's sit wide. And Jung's got a great return game really for these conditions. Of course, it's lightning quick, but he's got such compact swings. And he's surprising Anderson, I think, with some of the timing of these returns to get the first break. of the match. Oh, not by much. Great effort there from Jung. Putting Anderson under some real heat here in this service game, which he's done for much of this first set. Anderson's first serve moment, he's giving Jung more looks. He's generally pretty secure on the overhead, Anderson. No mistake there. Two more break points saved by the South African, keeping the set on serve. first time now. He's come under big pressure in his last 2 service games. He's very lucky here, digging this one up. Jung very close to the break, particularly in that last service game of Anderson's. It's terrific. Second serve, that is. Jung, no letdown to the missed break points. He's still very solid in his service games. First to 5 here.
Let's look at the jumbo try and try to figure it out together.
Serve to stay in this opening set then, Kevin Anderson, the former champion. 4-5. No breaks yet. Anderson has had to save 3 break points across his previous 2 service games to keep the set on serve. Seemingly no such problems this time for Anderson. Already up to 8 aces. And another for good measure. typical Kevin Anderson service game there after the problems of his last two. Jung posed this at the outset first and foremost, but of course he's done more than that. Numbers on serve. Keeps up his record here, not losing a point behind first serve in the set. Confront again at 6-5.
I wouldn't say giraffe, just plus the similarities. Call giraffe. To have someone in the house taller than me, I think that would be very nice. Do you ever come back from because it's hot and it's sweating so much, and you need the towel, and it's very important to have ball boys as well as giving the towel. It's not the most glamorous jobs, they always do such an amazing job.
First set again with Jason Jung. 5-6 this time. Figures now. Return. At the line from Jung. Well to stay on the set again now, Anderson. point lost across those two service games, serving to stay in the set. Of course, after come under pressure here earlier in the set, two that's a chance there for Anderson, first point of the tiebreak. Jung is acquitted himself. At the outset, he's got the game here in these conditions to trouble Anderson. First double of the Anderson, early mini break for Jung. Good follow-up there from Anderson to keep it to just a single mini break. Disappoint Jung that. Yes, he was slightly off the baseline, but pretty regulation backhand to net there and give the mini break back. Brilliant. Stayed right on top of that baseline, Jung. Pressure back on Anderson. The Fox 10 review here. Not a good one from Jung. So they turn around then, one mini break a pit set that was very tight, but where Anderson was the one who was forced to save the break points, 3 of them. It's pretty tight. Just going to go on and steal this first set. There's a brute of a serve, of course, coming from well above. He's 6'8", isn't he? See, maybe it's all difficult it is for Jung to control the return as well with the serve. Continues to be impeccable behind the 13 now. See there behind the second. This is still to. Oh. Corner. Anderson did everything there. Still couldn't find a way through Jung. Hey man. He went pretty big with the second serve there, Anderson. Gutsy. These are the sort go back. Playing his best tennis even before then, Anderson was at the top of the rankings. He'd find a way through these, a lot of them, of course, in his career. Here he's been under pressure more of the two, you would say, to save, and down an early mini break in this tiebreaker as well, Anderson. He's got a set point now. It's the line nearest to him, and now Anderson going with the Fox 10 review way, because if it's good, which it was, yeah, we go on. We set. To be. Third ace. Now he's got the set point. Wow. Double fault from Anderson. Just his second. He had a set point, but fire. Taken the first set on the tie break in the end by 8 points to 6.
You're a big fan, aren't you? Okay, and oh, fantastic. Did you know about tennis before you got here today? I'm just kidding, of course you did. As long as you guys can have a ball, you get a New York Open t-shirt, you get a New York Open t-shirt, you get a hearty handshake for just being a fan of the best sport in the world and the best event in New York, the New York Open. You guys enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy the tournament. We hope to see you again throughout the week.
Jason Jung here, the qualifier, set to the good on former champion Kevin Anderson, pinching that first set on the tiebreak in itself. Real blow for Anderson to lose it like he did though with the double fault. To show now Anderson some mental strength that he shown through his career, that he's had those injuries, because Jung is to the disappointment of losing the first set, just now looking to plot the way back into this match. Something I think might want the train. It's Murphy on the something. I do think it's a call for the trainer at the next sit down. He's tweaked something. So it was the knee that he had was the problem early on last season. Keep his concentration here, Jung. He's played beautifully first. Seen that first serve points one streak end, of course, now. He's won the first set. From 19. First. Yeah, big chance for Anderson, and he's coming back here into this. The big South African didn't force a break point through the first set, but he's got one. And does break, he's clinical with it. The South African. Did Jung there? This is slightly slip. Double faulted to lose the first set on the tie breaks. Another one there. He's trying to go very big with that second. He's mindful of Jung's return quality, those compact swings. Yeah, you can see it there from Anderson, but he swung his racket down. Frustration you hear of throwing the break straight back. Is broken for the first time as well now, immediately in this second set. Jung then back on serve immediately with Kevin Anderson in this second set. The player, as expected really, of when he was at early break like that, the opponent I think would probably think the set was already gone. Jung has returned effectively, and I think you can see the locker room though is that Anderson on the way back from serious surgery, serious injuries, quite at that level at the moment. Opportunities there. There's a big off break back. Jung now level. So that's a good history with this event as well. Anderson winner in 2018, but Jung quarter-finalist last year here. Sam Querrey, and a couple of good wins. Both of his wins actually at ATP level. Open, qualified for 3 other ATP the first round in any of them. Atlanta, Los Cabos, and draw upon that here, and you feel he is. Just drifted long, and Anderson's got to be careful here. Jung is building up a bit of momentum now. These service games at the moment. The second set down at 44. It was 51 through the first set. Here's a look at the profiles as well. Just 2 minutes. Got that early break. He's not been that great, to be honest, from 2 love up. He's passed up. Well, they're injected a bit of pace. Surprise jump. The 2018 check. It's a business now, hard up to. Well there, love 30 down, Anderson to hold and just stem the bleeding a bit. Back in 2 in the second. And a quarter in then. Jason Jung second here to Kevin Anderson. Just not finding a way through, Anderson. Going for too much again there. Jung very dependable off the baseline. Anderson has times this season already. Did it at ATP Cup, win over Benoit Paire there in the third set tiebreak, and of course did it again against Ilya Ivashka in that 4-hour Australian Open. Dig in, not having to save a match point yet here, but to come try and find an answer to this very good opponent in Jason Jung. Sent sprawling there. The overhead, that was up into the lights for a long time. Oh. That one that is so good at controlling it, just using the pace. Again, it's those short take-backs that give him that opportunity. As well, to just block that back. That's, if you like, a Roger Federer-like return to the big server. Just blocking it back. No pace, and that's smart. Needs his first serve here, although we've seen it come into play and sometimes just be in the pocket for Jung. Again, he got the return back into plus serve there. Couldn't follow up Jung. He's not having an easy ride on sit behind first serve are good. First serve percentage is the part of the problem. See there, that ball has come back hard at him up the middle. Wasn't really set to take it on that aggressively. Anderson down in the extended duel there from the baseline. Jung, what a chance now here for the Chinese Taipei man. Break point. Just desperate to find a first serve. That's even bigger here for Jung. On him. He breaks Anderson again. And the former champion's in big trouble now. Jung just 2 games away. Anderson in big trouble here. Nassau Coliseum. Jason Jung, the qualifier, quarter-finalist here 12 months ago. Of course, on his way to the last 8. He's looking like he might snare another big scalp here. Been so dependable, hasn't he? Serve in the rally. Yes, he's lost a couple of points in this second set on first serve, but still for the match. He's just looking here, Jung. Gives Anderson a taste of his own medicine there. 5th ace of the match. He's a game away now from a big win. Just 2 ATP Tour level match wins last season for Jason Jung, both here at the New York Open. Does love playing here. Jung challenging this one, the slider from Anderson, called as an ace. Ace for Anderson. Having 15 aces, which is a decent haul, but might be in a losing cause. He's done well to hustle that Anderson, because again, I mean, that's been a part of the problem. Despite the 15 aces, he's seen a lot of first serves actually come back at him with interest. Quarters of the points behind the first serve, but if you think of Anderson at his best, he would be kind of like Jung has done here. 93%, barely losing a point behind it. To bolster his total, but he's got to try and break Jung back now if he's going to keep this going. To the Chinese Taipei man, about to serve for it when they resume. Crunch time then in this remaining first round match here at the Open. The qualifier Jason Jung serving for this on the former champion Kevin Anderson. Whoa, that absolutely ripped up off the black court. Unplayable. He's giving the big South African a taste of his own medicine here. They call so many times to opponents serving out matches with big, accurate strikes. Just has never really, that one little slip from Jung where he was broken early in the second set. Otherwise, he's been superb in his points here, the qualifier. That is a fine win for last year's quarter-finalist here at the New York Open, Jason Jung. The qualifiers knocked out the 2018 champion Kevin Anderson. Terrific win, and Jung fully deserves it. He was superb here tonight at the Coliseum to knock Anderson out and move through, completing the second round lineup at this year's under an hour and a half then for Jason Jung to knock Kevin Anderson out. More disappointment for Anderson. The relatively early exit as he tries to make his way back from that knee surgery. An early loss here. Wasn't able to defend his title last year, but he suffers a proper loss this time. Back to the drawing board really for Anderson, the events to come. Just not sharp enough really. You've got to give Jung credit for the way he returned, the way he took care of his service games, the way he moved and was aggressive off the ground. Thought he might have the game to trouble Anderson, but I'm not sure many would have expected him to be quite that good. Third straight sets win of the tournament, of course, building on the couple in qualies. He's going to be speaking to Colin Cosell now.
By the nickname JJ, your friends and family call you that. You took down Tiafoe last year. You just took down the 2018 New York Open champion. What do you think of Jason the Giant Killer?
I think I like these black courts. So thanks for everyone for staying out so late. It's not easy to watch us this late, but it's a great atmosphere here.
Well, you certainly make it worth it, and you're no neophyte when it comes to pro tennis. You've been around for 9 years now. You're still finding the intestinal fortitude. It was a really back and forth match there in the first set. What happened there in the second set?
Kevin's great, and just trying to stay in there. I know he's probably not moving as well right now, but just got to hang in there with his serve.
Speaking of hanging in there with his serve, there in the second set, you got a second served ace. Were you a little surprised by that?
A little bit. That doesn't happen often.
Well, it was fantastic, and we look forward to seeing you advance into the next round. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Jung, congratulations. Great job.
Jung, and that is how he returned Kevin Anderson's serve. Was extremely impressive, even if the South African isn't quite back where he was. It still takes some doing to break him a couple of times as he did. As we look back at the numbers, the bedrock really, the fact that he only lost 2 points behind first serve, both of them in the second set. Anderson his numbers are very good, but not quite as high as when he's at his best. Even 77% behind the first serve. And Jung recovering from that early breakdown in the second set. Otherwise, very difficult to criticise anything in that performance. He was so good in that hour and a half, and I think Anderson will just have to admit that the better guy won there. Jung's journey continuing through the qualifying, and now into the second round, where he'll play